Hello kids, we'll be starting with new chapter today, that is morphology of flowering plants. You have got two chapters back to back, one is morphology and the other one is anatomy. Now morphology is actually the science that deals with the external features, study of external features. Morphological features means the features that you can observe. So observable features. If you see a plant, you're able to tell the kind of leaves it has, the kind of flower, the color of flower, the pattern of leaves, the stem is hairy or it is smooth, whether it is green or non-green. That is all telling or talking about its morphology. Whereas anatomy means talking about the cellular structure, which is obviously internal structure. So here in this chapter, you are going to talk about various parts of the plant. You have done this in your previous lower classes and you have an idea about this. So it would interest you rather when you will go down through the contents of this particular chapter, because you will be able to relate it. Okay, now to start with, a plant has got obviously root, stem, leaves, branches, flowers, fruits, seeds, and we will take each part separately and to study a little more about it than what you have already acquired as knowledge about these things. Now the roots. Of course the roots, you understand what roots are for. If I ask you a question directly, you will be able to answer. So roots basically of two types, true and false roots. Now, what are true roots? The roots that arise from the radicle of the plant. That will be true root. And what are false roots? False roots are the ones that arise from any other part than the radicle. I am sure you remember the structure of embryo where you had embryonic axis and you had a radicle and a plumule, and you were being taught that radicle gives rise to root system and plumule to the shoot system. So when the roots come out from the radicle, that is the prescribed part of the embryo, it will be known as true root, whereas when it comes out from any other part, maybe arising from stem or branch or maybe from leaf as well, it will be a false root, because you cannot call it true, so you are calling it false. True root can be of two types, tap root and fibrous root. Now tap root has a typical structure where the radicle elongates into a main root or primary root. Lateral roots such as secondary, tertiary, etc., it could be quaternary also, arise from this main primary root, and the example is mustard. Now you can see here, this is your typical tap root where you have the main root coming out from the radicle. It would elongate and go deep down, and this is generally found in trees. And you have supporting lateral roots such as secondary and tertiary, and these are root hairs. So these roots will be arising laterally and they will also spread. So that is why the tree requires lot of area in the soil system. That is why you say dispersal of seed in trees is important, because the seeds that fall in the vicinity of the plant or the tree, later on when it will be a big tree or it will be growing into big tree, its roots are going to get intervened with the previously existing parent tree. It is going to be fighting. There will be intra-specific fight for general things like minerals and water and sunlight. That is why we say dispersal is required. There should be enough space for the roots to increase in length and to flourish, not just shoot system. Now there are certain plants where you will see that primary root, although it arises from the radicle, but it is very short-lived and it would perish after some time, and it is replaced by large number of roots originating from the base of the stem. Such example can be seen in wheat. So you have this kind of fibrous root. There was a true root but that has actually perished. And then from the base of the stem, there will be many roots coming, but they are radical, coming out from the same portion, okay? That is why they are under true roots. It will be coming out and spreading like this. Now they are shorter, as you can see the comparison. They are shorter and more fibrous, because many small roots give it a fiber-like appearance. These you generally find in plants which are, annual or biennial. They don't get deep rooted because they are not going to live for long. So they can't spend much energy in increasing and deep setting of the roots. That won't be required. You can't have a tree of wheat because it will, bear the inflorescence only once. So it should be shallow so that it could easily be harvested and new plants could be put up or could be grown. You can't think of harvesting mango trees every year because they have taproot system. Once it is established, it will remain there. If you do not disturb it, it will be like many years it will continue. Now you have false root. False root, as I have already told you, coming out from any other part than the radical, they are called adventitious roots. Here the root arise from any part other than radical. You will have grass, you have monstera, banyan. Banyan tree, of course, it has its usual taproot also, the one that is going down. But you have seen the hanging roots also out of banyan tree from the branches. Those are the adventitious roots. We will be talking about them further in modification, the video in which we will be discussing modification. You see adventitious roots coming out from general stem region between the leaves. So this is not true root. It is not coming out of proper radical. So you have roots by the name of taproot and fibrous root and adventitious root. Now when you see a root, what are the various regions in the root while it is growing? Now you see, you have done an experiment, I am very sure, in class 9th, where you were taking 2 onions and you were keeping that in your glass with water, and then you allowed the roots to grow. Later you have chopped off the tips of one of the onions roots, and the second one was left like that. You have tagged them A and B, and later you found that the roots, those were chopped off, were not showing any further growth, whereas the roots that you did not chop off were got lengthened later. So the length increased, and then you were taught that this is meristematic tip. So I have just said that again, have recalled it so that you can bring it back to your minds as to what you have studied previously. So you see that a root will have different regions. The lowest, or the region at the tip, it has got dividing cell, and that is known as region of meristematic activity, the most active place where the cells would divide and redivide continuously. This is the point from where the root will grow. So you should understand that if you cut the roots from here, the root will stop to grow because you have removed the meristematic region. Then once these cells are formed, they are pushed on the upper side, and that is known as region of elongation. Here the cells will be taking certain shape. They will become lengthy. Lengthy in the sense that they are going to now be more stable, because on the lower side they are just dividing to make more and more cells. The moment they are growing, they become more stable, and that is why you have zone of elongation. And then you have got region of maturation or zone of maturation. Actually these elongated cells now will take up some function, so they will start to differentiate. Differentiation of cell actually means giving them certain work, and according to the job or the work or the task they are being given, they are then modified. So whatever work they are being given, they are modified in that way. So you have got region of meristematic activity, region of elongation, and region of maturation.